refresh. It says you're offline right now. Oh, there we go. And now I can hear my voice though. Okay, bye.
You always get mad and say what you could have had and that you want me to make it right. I couldn't do that to save my life. You always tell me you ain't surprised. You say this the last time, I guess that you were right. I'm not the one with you tonight. Now I'm so sick of these love songs, so sad and slow, and I'm so sick of.
One, two.
What's up? What's up? Man, I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Okay, chat, first off, I need to know, can you hear me? Because I don't want to be talking forever and you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Yes, Merce Gilly. Thank you, Merce. Mr. Merce. All right, guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Lefty McKee show, where we're going to talk fantasy. We're going to talk cards. We're going to show some games. We're going to look at some highlights. We're going to talk about who's hot, who's not. We're going to talk about players that are making a big impact this spring. We're going to talk about players that I'm impressed with. And then mostly I just want to answer questions that you guys may have about the stream. So my goal is to go about 40 minutes. Feel free to go if you are, if it goes a little bit longer than that, that's fine. Come and go as you please. This is also a stream that for a lot of people could be their first time using Twitch. So I also want to be very friendly in terms of answering questions about Twitch. So if you guys have any questions, if this is your first time using Twitch, welcome. I'm glad that I was able to usher you in, and then we'll talk about some of those, so save those questions as well. I know my mom is watching, so Mom, shout out, we made it. I'm super glad that we're here. Griffey has already made an appearance, and he brought you guys a bone. Look at Griff. Hi, buddy. So, yes, Griffey is named after the Ken Griffey Jr. Yes, he is named after Ken Griffey Jr. / McGriff. Ted McGriff? Fred McGriff. Fred McGriff, that's it. There might be a Ted McGriff, too. Anyway, I'm really, really excited to be here. Welcome to my first show. I just want to know if the audio levels are good. Are we good? Are you guys ready? Are you excited? Do I need to change anything? Kremlin, are you here? I saw that you were in the chat. I thought you weren't going to be here tonight. Thanks for coming, buddy. I'm glad you're here. Indians suck. Yes. They're probably in my top 10 favorite teams in the MLB, but I'm not a huge fan. I'm not an absolute huge fan of the Indians. But if you guys want, I'll give you some top 10s for me. I'll give you my favorite teams. I made sure not to wear any apparel of my favorite team, so I didn't look biased in my first video. I want to create a bias, but I didn't want to create a bias. Obviously, some of you guys know who I am. Some of you have no idea who I am. Some people are just tuning in from the sports category. And fantasy sports in general is a new category for Twitch. So I think this is going to be really fun. And I have some cool stuff coming down the pipe for you guys. Indians have entered the dark age. Yes, they have. Jackson, the Rangers aren't going to be very good this year. Yes, Jackson, I'm afraid that they are not going to be good for not only this year. I'm afraid they're not going to be good for probably about 2, 3, maybe 5 years. So looking forward to here's a little thing that I'm expecting this season. I believe that we are going to see the exit of Joey Gallo and what kind of haul we see back from him, even though I'll be very sad about that. So. But that's something that we will talk about in this show, what we expect at the trade deadline and things like that once we get there. Obviously, if you guys don't know anything about baseball, spring training is upon us. It's about 2 weeks in. I've had a really, really fun time just watching the game of baseball again. I was so amped when spring training started last year. I was just I'm amped every spring training, but for some reason last year I was expectantly amped because the Rangers were here it is. Okay, see, I already gave away my bias. Yes, I am a Rangers fan. We'll just start there. But I was overcome with joy that I was going to see the new stadium. Me and my dad were going to go. What's up, Dutch? Me and my dad were going to go together. I was really excited about wanting to be what are the odds, Trevor Story? I'll answer that in a little bit. Me and my dad were gonna go to the opening day of the new ballpark together with me and two of my closest friends, Matt and Jamie, and we got obviously canceled with COVID, and I was struck. And then baseball got canceled, and I was like, you can't even have nobody there. And so then I watched Korean baseball every single night. every single night. Big KT Wiz fan. Watched him all year. Loved it. I loved watching the KBO. If you guys have ever watched some Korean baseball, I highly, highly recommend it. Very entertaining game. They take hacks over there. Like in the MLB, sometimes guys are afraid to just let it all out when they swing because they're afraid of falling over or looking ridiculous. In the KBO, there is none of that. They literally just swing away. And so it is something that's really cool. So, okay. So something that I've really enjoyed, along with the KBO, thank you, Trey. With the KBO is, the arrival of Kim to the Padres. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. River Dogs, Trey Cal. Someone knows the hat. Yes, River Dogs. I have a friend who worked for the River Dogs in the Yankees minor league system a couple years ago. And spoiler alert, I have my own hat company. And so he came into town when they played the Lexington Legends. And I traded him a River Dogs hat for a Lex-Tex hat. So there you go. Yes, so KBO, Kim, Padres, really excited about him. Really, really excited about him. But that's something that I don't plan on talking about tonight. But if the show goes there, it goes there. So let me talk about my purpose really quick. I have some show notes here so I don't get completely lost. And feel free to dive in some questions. Actually, I'll answer my mom's question. Love you, Mom. What are the odds that Trevor Story becomes a Ranger in 2022? Well, I think we will see, based on if he signs an extension this year. Before Arenado moved to, who played third base for the Rockies, before he moved to St. Louis, I thought there was a very, very, very high chance we would be signing Trevor Story in the 2022 offseason, or 2021 offseason, because he's a Texas boy. He grew up. He's married to my cousin. So, like, that's awesome. Oh, that's Dad. TX McKee and TX McKee won. My mom and my dad are watching. So if you don't know if I've made it in life, both my parents are watching my Twitch stream. And so I thought there was a really high possibility he comes back home, plays for his hometown team. Mally just loves every minute of it, and we all go watch him as a family, and it would be great. I think there is a small chance the Rockies extend him this year. They don't have to, though, because I do have Brendan Rodgers, who was, I believe, the number 3 pick in the 2015 draft, maybe. Yes, exactly. There you go, Fletch. And so I really do. I think there's a good possibility. It's probably, I would say, if I had to put a percentage on it, I would probably say about, I would say there is a 30% chance he gets signed by the Rockies, a 40% chance he goes to another team, and a 30% chance he comes to the Rangers. So, not terrible, but I don't know. What do you think about Trout being projected 8th in the Yahoo Fantasy League? I think that is it, Krim, are we talking year-long or dynasty format? What are the odds you get to the... Yes, babe, we can go to the new stadium this year because they just announced today, actually, the Texas Rangers announced today that they're going to be the first major event, not even sporting event in general, to allow 100% capacity in opening day. That is literally less than a month away in a COVID world. The Texas Rangers are going to allow 100% capacity in their new ballpark. I'm not 100% how I feel about it, but would I go if I had a ticket? Absolutely. So, yeah. I even saw that on CNBC today. I was literally watching the stock market, and all of a sudden the Rangers are on there. It was wild. I was loving it. What are the who should I root for in baseball? Trey Cal, you should either root for the Reds or the Rangers. Crimson, year long. I think I think if you're doing a year-long format, I think Trout needs to be higher than that. I think Soto and Acuna and let's see, Soto, Acuna. Who else is up there? Probably. No way Garrett Cole is above 8. But a bunch of those guys that are up there in that top 8. Yeah, Mookie, he deserves to be up there. I wouldn't put Mookie above Trout though, but I'd say overall I'd probably take Trout 3rd overall. I think Juan Soto is going to have just a heck of a year, and I also I think you could take. I think my lineup basically right now would be Soto, Fernando, Tatis Jr., and Trout, Mookie, Acuna. That's probably how I go top 5. Okay, so purpose of this show is about fourfold. Mainly, we're going to center around baseball, at least for now. My goals are that we dive into other sports in the future, and I think that there will be some bleeding into other sports because that's just naturally who I am as a person. As you will see, how I bleed into other sports pretty easily. But I also want to talk about fantasy sports, whether that's Krim, you just asked me a fantasy sports question. I want to talk about daily fantasy sports, which which is massively growing in popularity. I'm not super into it, but I'll talk about it. Year-long fantasy, and then dynasty formats. Dynasty formats is my absolute favorite. I can talk AL, NL leagues if you're into that. It's kind of a niche market nowadays. It was really popular, I think, back in the early 2000s, 90s. But yeah, so we're going to talk prospects. When you talk fantasy, especially dynasty formats, that's my favorite form of fantasy baseball. You've got to talk prospects. Like, prospects are literally what I swim in every day. Like, MLB just came out with a new feature called Film Room. It's really cool. You can search any team, any player, and they'll bring up any footage that's basically tagged with that player or that team's name. And I've literally just been diving into prospects because I love watching prospects. A big part of why I love baseball is because I love the story behind people. I love the stories behind development. I love the story behind the way interactions go, and I love development. That's why I love origin stories. I love when the one-off Marvel movies about origin stories. I've loved WandaVision just because, you see some of that origin story. I love all that. So baseball prospects gives me that outlet. It gives me that, learning people's stories, learning about where these guys got drafted from. Trey Dexter, hey, what's up, Tonto? Thanks for following. I'm glad you're here. We're just recapping what the show's about. Thanks for the follow. So, with that being said, I love prospects. I love diving into that. I love projections. Love all that. That's why I love baseball. It brings it all together. And then we will be talking games a little bit as well. So I like to commentate potentially on a game night, maybe one night a week where we watch a game together. Because of copyright, I can't watch it on the stream, but if we're watching the same production, I can kind of commentate what we're seeing. Ian, what's up, bro? Dude, glad you're here. El Penguin Ino Tanto? Dude, love the name. What a wild name. You love prospects. Yeah, you do. You have a dynamite system. Thank you, Dutch. I'm glad that you love my team. So, Dutch, which team are you? I gotta know which Dutch. I'm in like 4 leagues, and I think I know who this is, but I'm not 100% sure. So, Dutch, which team are you? So we will talk about the games. I also love Out of the Park Baseball, which is a computer game, and I'm super pumped, and I really do think the show is going to come to PC, and so we will be diving into that. Toyo, yeah. So I do, I love my specs, but I also love in the development. A lot of people in that league love to just give me the most trash trades I've ever read. Like, they literally just expect me to not know anything about baseball. They want like like Marcus or I had Acuna when I first got in the league. They were like, Acuna for 19 prospects. I was like, no, that's, and none of them I've ever heard of. It's just like, what? This is dumb. Like, anyway, but glad you're here, Dutch. Thanks for coming by. And then also I will be talking sports cards. It's something that I have been in for a long time. I actually just found all of my my final binder. I found my binder today. I found a bunch of my cards that I found that I just kind of had in a like a toolbox, but I finally found the binder. And let me show you what I mean by that. I found the binder today. It is literally organized by team. It's literally organized by like position. I spent so much time on this when I was like 5 years old, or not 5, probably 10 years old. And like there's just some phenomenal cards in here that I'm like, I can't wait to potentially get rated. Look at this. There's a Barry Bonds card just freaking sitting right here. A Pirates Barry Bonds card. Can't get any better than that. But anyway, we'll be talking graded, non-graded. Any questions that you guys have about that, when you should grade your cards, what they should look like. I have everything from, I have an Asa Lacy card, which I'm really excited about. I think his development is going to be super awesome. I also am a big Aggie fan, so obviously I'm a big Asa Lacy fan. I think he's going to be really great. And this Sapphire, oh man, just beautiful. So I have those. I have new, I have old, I have a King Griffey Jr. rookie card here. I have some Trent Grisham. I got stock and Nolan Ryan here. We're just all over the place. So I can talk about that. And then I have everything in graded, or I have graded cards from a Mint 10 PSA Pudge Rodriguez 92 to a Bobby Witt Jr. first release PRC P rookie card paper prospect. So talking about that. Okay, guys, say louder for people to know that. Yeah, that league doesn't know how to trade at all. And it's $3 a trade. Like, you pay $3 a trade and they're gonna send me like crap trades like that? No, thank you. Anyway, okay, one thing I definitely want to mention right here is this show has been multi-years in advance. I've wanted to start this on YouTube. I've wanted to start this on Facebook. And I just didn't know how to do it. I didn't have the computer to do this, and I built a computer during the pandemic, all this stuff. I'm like, I'm a gamer, so it's like, okay, what do you launch it on? And I finally was like, okay, I said this dream to somebody, and my friend Aram, he does Locked On Prospects podcast, which you should a plug for him. Spotify, Locked In Prospects. He is the man. Like, literally, Dutch, go listen to him. I guarantee you will pull some value from it, and you will pull some good players from farm systems. There's people in the league that me and you are in, Dutch, that there's players out there that if I didn't have as many prospects, I would go get these players off a waiver. So there you go get them. And so Aram and Daniel at Project the Plate have really been a part of elevating this dream for me. And so we are powered by Project the Plate, and we're going to have a lot of cool partnerships going forward with them. They're an up-and-coming fantasy baseball site that's going to be having some really cool announcements in the next couple of months. And I'm really excited to be their video personnel and a fantasy writer for them at Project the Plate. I'm very excited. Aram is a Marlins fan. He called me up from Miami and he was like, hey, look, I love this vision. Like, let's get on this. Let's do it together. I think you'd be a good addition to the team. So I said, let's do it. So we're here and we're having a blast and we're having a fun time. So Project the Plate, wanted to mention them. Okay. So I'm going to take a break for a second. I'm going to look at the panel here and I'm going to say, guys, what if anything, do you have any absolutely burning questions before I get into my next segment of who's impressed me in the spring? Sorry, Trey. I had to allow this because the N-word was in there, but I think this is an acceptable use of it. Are the Negro League baseball cards? Yes, there are. They're pretty rare, and they, from what I understand, are pretty valuable. I don't know a whole lot about that, so let's look it up together. Dutch Boys, thanks for the follow. Glad you're on the team. That's a great question, though. That is a absolutely great question. If I had a Satchel Paige Negro League card, woo! I would love that. That would be awesome. I went to the museum so everybody knows. Trey and I had an opportunity in Kansas City to go to the museum, the Negro League Museum, together. And I went and he didn't because he didn't want to go. And it was awesome. It was so fun. Seeing, Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson, all those guys that really built a really strong community, not only for the Monarchs, but just in general. Yeah, you did want coffee. Woohoo. And I really wanted to dive into African American and Black heritage. I really love that. So it was really, really fun. I also got to see the Jazz Museum while I was there. So that was cool. All right, any questions before I dive into people that have been impressing me in spring training so far? Let's see if Griffey will come back. Griffey! Griff! The stream wants to see you, boy. You're Black Future. Trey, you're Black Future. Hey, come see the stream. Come on, come here. Oh, good boy. Come here. Come on. Come on. Oh, quick buffer with the follow, and you got to see Griffey. Oh, look at it, boy. They love you, Griff. They love you. All right, see you later, buddy. Bye. No questions. Okay, let me scroll back up here, see if... oh, I missed one. My dad asked, projections for Josh Young making big league impact this year. I do think he does. I think he does. I think he absolutely does. I'm not 100% he breaks camp with the Rangers. I think Odor actually has been holding down a pretty okay third base. We don't have a whole lot of options there. I think it's either Brock Holt. It's a Brock Holt, Odor, Young battle, and I think two of them make the team, and out of spring training. And I think if I had to put money on it, I would say that Brock Holt and Odor break camp, and Young comes probably 1st of May, and then has a dynamite season. Yeah, Reckham. Yeah, Josh Young is a boss. Jamie's a big Josh Young. He's got stock in Josh Young all over the place. Absolute huge Josh Young guy. Didn't you watch him play in college, Jamie? Maybe. Let's talk about the new rules for this season. So last season, we had a 60-game season because of COVID and all that kind of stuff. And it presented a real challenge for regular baseball. It presented a real challenge for fantasy. I know that, yeah, you did multiple times. I think we had a real problem with fantasy because some managers were like, do we just do this league for fun? Do we just move it to next year? Especially in the dynasty format, daily fantasy went on as it always does. I think year-long fantasy probably suffered last year just because people didn't know when it was going to start or whatever. But dynasty formats were like, do we compete for money this year? Do we not? You know, like all that kind of stuff. I know that we talked about, do we donate the winnings this year to a charity, because, you know, it's not a full length of time for a season and stuff. And here is the result of what happened in 2020. Ah! I'm a 2-time champ of the MLFB. So yeah, Jamie, if you and Matt are on the stream here, or Fletcher, yeah, get wrecked, boys. The MLFB is where it's at, and I'm a 2-time champ now, even if it was a shortened season. And there is no asterisk next to my championship. Let's go. Anyway, I digress. The new rules this year, I really thought they were going to keep the universal DH. I'm upset about it. I'm upset because what are the Mets going to do now? Are they going to play Pete Alonso all season, or is Dom Smith going to play a rotation in left field? Ah! Judah! What's up, buddy? Hi. Pepsi. Yeah, I am an hour ahead. Sorry, Connor. Or Pepsi fan. Sorry. Didn't want to reveal you right there. Yeah, so what? The universal DH, I really thought that was going to come through. I understand why that there are people out there that you know, that want that part of the NL that's just murky and just grindy, and you got those pitchers up there just hacking away. Thanks for the follow, Judah. Dude, glad you're a part of it. And welcome. There's that part of the NL where the pitcher is hitting that's just silly. You know, you've probably got 3 strikeouts a game for a pitcher on the opposing side that's just gassing the other pitcher. So NL strikeouts probably would have taken a hit. But I don't know. Who doesn't want to see Madison Bumgarner's up there hacking, by the way? Just absolute hacking. I'll never forget when Bartolo Colon hit one deep in San Diego. That was freaking awesome. But I really thought the universal DH was going to stick. No expanded playoffs. That also surprised me. I wouldn't say I'm upset by it, but I was looking forward to it. Expanded playoffs. I think expanded playoffs are always good for any sport. Maybe not baseball and basketball, just because there's, you know, 5-7 game series that can drag on a little bit. But I did like the wild card format in the shortened season. I thought that was really fun. And just like fringe teams that just could make a run. You know, you saw just some really cool playoff games last year that I thought were really fun. But they did add this second base extra innings rule. People hated this rule. I personally loved it. I thought the strategy of extra innings was phenomenal. You know, you put a runner on second base to start extra innings. Like, with no outs, a runner on second, you can do so much. The small ball is unreal in that situation. I know my dad is probably like, yes, small ball. He loves small ball. He's a big Ron Washington guy, loves base-to-base hitting. That's why he never taught me how to hit home runs. So I hit my first home run in a big league softball. Yeah, that's what I call it. Big league softball. Slow pitch. But I hit my first home run when I was like 22 because he never taught me how to hit home runs because he only wanted me to hit for average. That's probably why I never made it big. Dad, you're the reason I never made it to the MLB. Just kidding. But I think the extra innings is such a cool play. You can't just have relievers going on forever out there. Like, it's such an interesting feel. You know, like, if you've got, for instance, let's take the Rangers. Let's say Delino DeShields makes center field to start out the season. If there's an extra inning game, you got DeShields on second, so he'd be probably top of the order. And you have, you know, Isaiah kind of left up the plate in the 2-hole with Joey Gallo at 3. You literally, whether you wanted to bunt Kiner, Falefa, and DeShields to third, Or, you know, you could even try to let him steal third. He's freaking fast. Or if you let him swing away. You know, if you let him swing away, you never know what happens. He's a great contact hitter. But no matter what, if he gets to third with one out, you got Joey Gallo up to the plate in the 3-hole. Or Chris Davis, depending on, you know, what they do and who all makes the team, all that kind of stuff. You got Joey Gallo in the 3-hole. He flies out, sacrifice fly. You already got a run on the board. I just love it. I think the strategy is great. I really, really love the strategy of the extra inning rules. I think it's adding it. That's on the hitting side. On the pitching side and the coaching side, I love it. Like, I love how baseball is like so in depth in the way that it thinks. People look at baseball sometimes from an average perspective. I used to live with some soccer players in college. I had a guy, Chris Southers, love him. He's from England. Huge soccer fan, huge soccer player. Didn't understand baseball at all. He goes, I don't understand how it's so hard. Looks like the easiest game in the world. They just toss the ball out there and they hit it as far as they can. Most of them mash. And I was like, no, I don't think you understand. You are hitting a circular ball that is spinning at sometimes 3,000 rotations per, like the rotation, the spin rate is like 3,000 sometimes or something like that. They're spinning all over the place. You're trying to hit a circle ball with a circle bat on a plane, and you're trying to hit it square. And there's 11 or 10 fielders. Wait, 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10 fielders that also could stop you. It's really hard. And it takes a lot of guts. Doesn't Gallo... Come on, Fletch! No, I actually don't think... spoiler alert. I don't know if you've watched, but Gallo is somebody who's surprising me in spring training. He is absolutely mashing the ball. Soccer's easy. Yeah, I won't go actually there. No spoilers. Sorry, Judah. So, second base, yeah, we covered the extra inning rules. Any other people want to chime in there about the no DH, the expanded playoffs, second base extras? What do you think about that? Anybody got any pressing little last moments before we move on to the next one? Yeah, and it's coming at 95 miles an hour. Sometimes it's coming at 95 miles an hour as a splitter, or not as a slider or a cutter. Godly, cutters are nasty. That's why Mariano is so good. What the DH is? Just a second at bat for the best player. You know what a DH is. Come on. Oh, what if the DH is just a second at bat for the best player? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That heavily impacts players like the Angels. I did hear a really cool alternative to the DH. That they were saying. What were they saying? They were saying. Maybe I'll put that for next week. I don't want to spoil something and say a half-baked truth there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. I just don't really want my shares of Dom Smith and my shares of Pete Alonso to fall because they couldn't get their act together. Trout gets extra at bats. Yeah, his fantasy value definitely would go higher than 8th in a year-long fantasy league if he could get 2 at bats per 9. People impressing me early. Let's go there. So as I said, I've been watching a lot of spring training. I am really diving into spring training. Love baseball. As soon as it starts, like, I just can't wait to watch every single spring training game. I don't care if it's Johnny Who against, John Doe, and they're playing in the 6th inning, and then they're pulling the pitcher gets pulled for 20 pitches and there's only 1 out. I don't care. I love it. Like, I don't care if Ichiro's 47 and he's hitting on the backfield for the Mariners this season. And of course, he's not going to come out of retirement. He's 47. He's not going anywhere. But I thought it was super cool. What is not cool about one of the legends of the game coming out on the backfield against a prospect and swinging away? I thought that was awesome. I just love baseball, dude. Gallo's playing like yeah, he is definitely playing for a new contract. Peak optimal focus and commitment. I can see his focus and production from D. Yes. Last year under contract. Yes. Keep an eye on Gallo. He could be a monster. Yeah. So spoiler alert, I don't have to do that anymore. People that are impressing me this spring, I will start with Joey Gallo. Yes, I'm a Rangers fan, but outside of that, he is absolutely lacing the ball right now. His vision is even great. Like, I watched him at bat the other day. On Sunday, I watched the first inning against the Dodgers where Walker Buehler was pitching. I thought it was going to be, yes, it's spring training. Yes, okay, I get it, blah, blah, blah. These are professionals. They want to come out and win, and Walker Buehler is young. He wants to come out. He wants to get ahead. They're competing every single at bat. I don't care if it's spring training. Anyway, Walker Buehler comes out there. He goes down 0-2, I think. I think if I remember the at bat correctly. Joey Gallo is immediately in a 2-pitch hole. That's an optimal strikeout, just like Fletcher was talking about. Joey Gallo strikes out there 9 times out of 10 last year. Well, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but definitely a lot. I saw him just take a pitch. I saw him foul off a pitch that he would have swung away at. I saw him be critical. Walker Buehler, he waited on it. He waited for the fastball, got a 94-mile-an-hour heater, a little bit low. Walker was trying to get it up, sank a little bit in the strike zone. He absolutely mashed it. And that's what I want to see from Joey Gallo this year. I think he is. I think he's going to come into a season where he just absolutely goes on fire for the first couple months. And then the Rangers flip him for a couple prospects in July. And I'm going to be really, really sad about it when it happens. And in 5 years, I'm still going to be sad about it because there's no way that, because he's going to go to another team and then absolutely rake for them. And I'm going to be sad. But that's my prediction. On to the next one. Players that so I'm gonna build up to one. So I'm gonna give you my top 3. Joey Gallo is he's an outlier. I'm gonna give you my top 3. 3, 2, 1, and then I'm gonna give you my absolute dark horse for somebody that I think could potentially be comeback player of the year this year. So chat, drop in. I'll give you a couple hints. He's an NL hitter. And I think if he breaks camp and makes his team and all that kind of stuff, he absolutely mashes all year and potentially comes back to NL comeback player of the year. So if you guys can guess it, I will mail you 3 baseball cards. There you go. There's your challenge. Let's see. I'm going to name a couple. You know, while we're at the Rangers, I'm going to talk about another Ranger that I do think is going to have a good year this year is Folty. I don't know how to say his last name. Are you kidding me, Fletcher? You literally got it on the first guess.
Have you been talking to Matt?
I'm pissed. I am freaking pissed. I guess I'm not just a savant. Other people know. Anyway. We're going to talk about CJ Cron here in a second. Fultilowicz, whatever his name is. Fletcher, I'm sure you know how to say it since you're a Braves fan. Braves cut him. They didn't like his work ethic. They didn't like what was going on. He lost a lot of miles per hour on his fastball last year. Came over from Houston, I believe. Was really a high touted prospect. I really like Folty this year. I've seen some of his stuff in spring. He's coming back. He's got a 96, 97 mile an hour heater. I think that's something that he's improved a lot on. He looks like he's healthy. He's strong. He's tall. I think there's no pressure in the Rangers system. I think he comes out and has a pretty good year. I don't think he's going to set the world on fire, become a Cy Young or anything like that, but I do think he won't be cut from the Rangers. All right. Another guy I'm looking at this year, I do love Kiner Falefa. Kiner Falefa is actually one of my probably top 5 favorite players in the MLB. Love his work ethic. Absolutely love him. Cannot talk enough about him. We literally have talked about the Rangers the entire time. That wasn't my goal. I love Shohei Ohtani this year. I think he pitches. I think he does well, but I think he rakes. I think he just absolutely rakes. He tweaked his swing a little bit. He found out that he was elevating his back foot when he was getting excited and down in counts. I think Fletcher, did you hear me say? Did you hear me have a rant about you when your app closed? Bobby Bradley. No, Merce. That's not it. Shohei, I think, has a good year. I think he impresses people with his arm this year. Coming off of Tommy John. Obviously, it's going to be rough a little bit, but I think he gets the job done. It looked good in spring. But I think he retools his bat. I think he absolutely has a great year. I think he potentially has a run for comeback player of the year because he didn't do well in 2020. But I love Will Myers too. But I think Shohei has a good one. And then I'm going to talk about another hitter right here who I think needs to have a good year. Speaking of contract year, Chris Bryant. KB needs to have a good year. I think he does bounce back. I think the Cubs really have nothing but him and Ian Happ anymore. I know Baez is there. I get it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not impressed. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But Chris Bryant needs to have a good year. He needs it. Contract year for him. Yeah, so KB, Shohei, Fulte, another player to watch this spring. I talked about this earlier, but the polar bear, Dom Smith. I think that is just a very interesting relationship. The Mets are going to be fun to watch this year. The Mets are going to be fun to watch. They got Lindor. They've got McNeil. Love him. Love McNeil. They've got Nimmo. Like him. Don't love him. Conforto. Love Conforto. Got a lot of shares of Conforto. Then Dom Smith. Then I'm literally there's somebody that I'm who is it? They just signed somebody. Springer went to the Blue Jays. Who did the Mets sign? Center fielder. I feel dumb. One of you got me in chat, I'm sure. But yeah. I think the polar bear and Dom Smith first base is interesting this year. I think the Mets are going to be really fun to watch. Obviously, their pitching is nasty. Catching, it's all there. The Mets have it. The Mets have a really good system. I actually don't think they're the best team in their division. But I think they have a really good chance to make the playoffs and make a run in the playoffs. I think let me put it this way: season long, don't think they'll win the division. Playoffs, I think they're dirty. I think they're nasty. I think they have Pilar, yes. Yeah, that wasn't as high as a signing as I thought it was. Maybe I'm thinking of the Brewers just signed Jackie Bradley Jr. I think that's who I'm talking about. Who I'm thinking of. Anyway, another player that's impressing me, or that I think could have a big year, Chris Archer. He's back with the Rays. I think if you've got a waiver claim and you've got an extra spot on the end of a bench, sign him for $1. See what that waiver looks like. Altuve, do you think he come back? No, I think he's done. Also, I don't like Altuve, so maybe that's why. I didn't like Altuve before all the cheating stuff. I don't like him. I think he just swings a bat that's way too big for him. That bothers me. Same thing with Odor. Get a smaller bat. What are you doing? I get it. They're small. They need launch angle. I get it. Bomb. Yeah, I think he's going to have an awesome year for the Phillies. But my number one guy, besides CJ Cron, we will talk about that in just a second. My number one guy that I'm really excited about is Trey Mancini. How can you not root for a guy that's coming back from cancer? Gosh, Trey Mancini. I want him so bad, and nobody will trade him for me. Yeah, I can't say. I'll probably have a lot of Trey Mancini talk in this show, not in this specific one, but like on my show. I love Trey Mancini. First off, believed in him when he was a minor leaguer, and then he came up and he struggled at first, and then he just took the position from Chris Davis, just took it, and then he went to outfield, and then I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I love Mancini. I think Odor could have a chance there. But CJ Cron, he is my dark horse this year. Thank you, Fletcher, for ruining my fun. But yes, CJ Cron is my dark horse. If he makes the roster for the Rockies, I think he hits 40 bombs. That is a lot. I get that. It's a lot. But I think CJ Cron is going to be filthy this year. He was hurt last year. I think he only played like 13 games. The Minnesota Twins just never figured out. I don't know what about the Twins, man. I don't like them. I have Krylov in almost every. I like Krylov. I feel like the Twins, and this is a guy that watches a lot of baseball. I feel like the Twins are where a player goes and just never gets on TV, never gets watched, and just eventually dies. I know that's not true. Like, they literally have great players. Buxton, Krylov, Robbie Grossman was good for them a couple of years ago. I know he was not on the team now or last year, but I had a few Robbie Grossman shares when he was playing there. Target Field. Taylor Rogers. Yeah, I get it. They've got good players. I don't like the Twins. I don't like watching them. But I do think CJ Cron absolutely kills it in a Rockies uniform this year. There you go. He's my dark horse. And Fletcher, I will send you some baseball cards. Send me your address. Text it to me. All right. This part of the show is I'm going to roll it through really fast because we're kind of running out of time here. I want to run through it really fast. If you've got questions, go ahead and put them in here. What about the cow pukes contract for Dak? Their entire organization is a joke. Yikes. Don't love the Cowboys. Don't love them. Browns fan personally. But I think the Dak signing is the best thing they could have done, other than maybe sign Russell Wilson. Or trade for Russell Wilson, I guess. Tommy Hunter. Is he still pitching, Jackson? Do you a long reliever for somebody? For those of you that were here earlier, Jackson is my cousin and Tommy is his cousin, so I think he's not my cousin, but I feel like he is. So Tommy Hunter. Dak is overrated. I don't agree. I don't think he's worth the money for the second highest player in football, but I don't think he's overrated. Phillies. Tommy Hunter. Tommy Hunter Phillies. They priced themselves out. Yeah, they did. Absolutely. Okay, so players I think are sells. This is going to be, if on YouTube, this will be the part that I get absolutely roasted for. I will get roasted because people will not agree with this. But these are players that I have personally sold this off season and this spring. These are players that I'm selling. Baez. I don't know. I think he's a guy that plays really pride like driven. He's all about like, yeah, like you know, like he's got that just like motor in him. And I don't know, the Cubs aren't going to be good. So I think he struggles. I think he thrives if he's on a winning team. If the Cubs trade him or something, I think he is going to be fine. But with all the energy in this Cubs system, that's going to be weird. I don't think Baez has a good year. I think he's a guy that feeds off of the organization, and I just don't. I don't think he's going to have a good year. I'm selling him. Let's see. Justin Turner. I don't think he'll finish the year at third base, at least starting. I think you sell high on him. Watch him, you know, sail off into the sunset. Get rid of him. From a fantasy perspective, I don't like him. I don't have him on any team. I just don't like him. Will Kirk take over catcher for Toronto? Yes. Kirk's a monster. Love him. He got a win today. Pitched one. Tommy? That's awesome. Tommy Hunter. And he was a fun Ranger to watch. Fun Ranger. Then he was an Oriole. He's been all over the place. Arenado. I think Arenado's a sell. Not because I think he's going to have a bad year, but I think you could sell high on him. I think potentially his numbers are not going to be as good in a season-long format. Yes, he's leaving Colorado. That's not why I think his numbers are going to dip ultimately. I think his numbers are ultimately going to dip. He's in a new organization. No. The Astros are not on top. Nope. Oakland A's. They're going to win the division, I think. And I think the Mariners have a shot at being the second. They've got a lot of nasty out there. They got a lot of prospects, and if they're really close to the majors too, if they end up putting a couple of pieces together, Mariners could be challenging. So yes, Arenado, I think he's a sell. I think you can get a lot for him just because of that. But I don't think he's going to have a fantastic season. I think you could reap some awesome rewards for letting him go. And I think you could put your money somewhere else that, like, for the same type of production, I think you could go and get another third baseman somewhere else that could do the same production that he's going to have, but his name value is going to get you a lot of specs out there. He's going to get you a lot of prospects, potentially another everyday player. If you're in a dynasty league that's got draft picks, I think you could flip Arenado. I am not saying I'm down on him. I'm just saying I think he's a sell. Desmond Bain going to the Grizzlies. Yeah, dude. Don't know much about that. I mean, I do know a lot about the NBA, but I don't know about Desmond Bain. Is that happening? Or did that already happen today? Missed it. Harper, same reason for Arenado. I don't think he has a good season. I don't know. When he went to the Phillies, it felt like he got his money. He's obviously a competitor. I get it. I just don't know if he's ever going to be what we thought he was going to be with the next Mike Trout or whatever. He's never going to hit that next projection. He's never going to have the Harper money anymore. Or the Harper, like, he's not going to be a top 15 player. He's just not. But I still think people think he might be there. And I think you can get him. All right, NL only auction. I've got 42 to spend on 2 hitters. Would you rather invest in Arenado and an $8 to $10 player, or spread that money around between Justin Turner and Max Muncy? Third base is pretty shallow due to being a keeper league. I could be wrong about Harper. NL only auction. Interesting. 42. How much is Arenado in the league? Rookie scoring about 15 points per game and number 1 with 3-point percentage. Sick. Where'd he go to school? TCU probably? Is that how you know about him? Big TCU fan. Jackson, I love that you're here, by the way. That's so cool. I love it. I might have you on the show sometime. You know a lot about sports. Harper, I think I personally sold him this year. I also sold Judge for the same reason. Arenado, Judge, Harper. I sold all those guys this offseason because I felt like I could just do better with some cheaper players. And then I also would sell Polar Bear. I would sell Pete Alonso because I think he has to share at bats with Dom Smith, and Dom Smith is coming for him. I don't know if he'll ever have the season like he had in 2019. And then my number one sell that is definitely going to be a hot take. People are literally going to people are either super high on this guy or super not. I sold on 3 different teams Randy Arozarena. I don't want him. I think his value is higher now than it's ever going to be. I have Arozarena baseball cards that I already am like getting ready to sell because I think we've seen the best of him. The St. Louis let him go and kept guys like Tyler O'Neill. They kept guys like Bader. They kept guys like Carlson's a beast. To get that, but like they let him go to Tampa Bay, and he had a monster postseason. He did. I don't think he rakes like he did in the postseason. I don't think he can put that in a year-long format. We haven't seen that from him. I mean, he could pull a Nelson Cruz. Nelson Cruz really wasn't that good in the minor leagues until he got to the majors and then started raking. But anyway, I think Arenado will go for 30. I had him at 38, so dropped him into the coming year because I thought he was too expensive. Yeah, I think you could take Max Muncy. National League third base. I think a good National League third baseman could that's cheaper. Ooh, let's see. Oh man, I gotta really pull my hat. Oh, if Ke'Bryan Hayes is available anywhere, grab him. If he's available anywhere, grab him. Love Ke'Bryan. But of course he's probably not available because people are smart. Yeah, let me think on that one, Dutch. Message me about that on Facebook. Private message me and I'll get an answer back to you. But yeah, I wouldn't go with Arenado there. You know, I bet you could probably. I wager to think that Brendan Rodgers is going to have third base eligibility this year, and I think he's gonna have a big year. I think is when he puts it together. He could be a good one. I don't know if he's owned. Okay, my last segment are weekly plays that impressed me. I don't know if this is gonna get me in trouble, but we're gonna watch some clips. All right, let's let me do this here. Let me do this. Bear with me, chat. Okay, let's see. Let's try. All right. So this next segment is weekly plays that impressed me. I am a huge Trent Grisham fan. There, I said it. I'm a huge Trent Grisham fan. And look at this swing.
1-2 to Grisham.
Oh!
On this, sending it a long way.
Absolute dinger!
Fair or foul? And that ball
look at that swing and the swagger! God, I love Trent Grisham!
Fair ball. And the Padres jump on top.
Ooh!
Who doesn't love a home run?
Timeout! Timeout! Look at this face!
Who doesn't love a home run?
He turned on it and knew it was gone. If it's fair, it's gone. Watch this
1-2
turn.
to Grisham. And he turns on.
Beautiful. Absolute dinger. No can of corn from Trent Grisham. He gets all of them. And I love that he doesn't wear gloves. Love it. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this. I probably am. But we'll see. Krim, if you're still here, or Trey, if you're still here, am I going to get in trouble for showing these? I don't know. We'll do it until somebody tells me to stop. Yes. Another play that absolutely made me just so happy. I know he's hurt now. I know, I get it. But this first homer was breathtaking.
From the first pitch of the season to pull it.
Whoops. Hello. Oh, God. What are we doing? There we go.
From the first pitch of the season.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, so this clip, I fell in love with this clip. I fell in love with it. Who's Quick Buffer? Worth it. Love it. Thanks, Quick. Boom! Look at that Kelenic swing! Look at him! Oh, so compact. I am super high on Jared Kelenic, by the way. Super high on him.
Baseball, Jared Kelenic with a home run.
Look at him running around the bags. He's thick. The boy thick. Look at those thighs. Yeah, he's got swagger. He got the chain out. Who is he, Manuel Ramirez? Come on. Nothing to love about this guy. I loved it. That Jared Kelenic and that Trent Grisham swing. Obviously, you know which minor leaguers I love having on my team. But I loved those two clips. Along with, I thought Yu Darvish was fun to watch this spring so far. And Adam Wainwright. Who doesn't love him? I don't even care. I don't even like the Cardinals. Gotta love Adam Wainwright. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. Guys, we went a whole hour. I had some awesome interaction. Absolutely loved it. Guys, if you want to subscribe, if you want to follow, if you want to hang out, I'll be doing this every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. I'd love to field questions. Feel free to hit me on Instagram at LeftyMcKee or Twitter at, I believe on Twitter I'm Ken_McKee, or I might be Lefty McKee now. I think I changed it. Please reach out to me. I love having this community. I think it's going to be absolutely super fun. You guys have been a blast. Reach out if you saw anything that you wanted. Thanks for Project the Plate for being there with me and launching this stream with me. And if I can do anything to help you guys out, if you guys have any suggestions, just drop them in. Thanks, guys. I absolutely had a freaking blast, and I will be back next week, and we will have a blast. Thanks, guys. Absolutely. Lefty, but you shoot with your right hand? Absolutely. I don't shoot with either hand. I'm a terrible shot. You know that. Loved watching. Thanks. Looking forward to learning more about baseball. Absolutely. Go River Dogs. Great stream. Thanks, Merce. Great job. Thanks, Fletch. Fletch, I'd like to have you on the show sometime. Let's make that happen. All right, guys. Loved it. Signing off. Peace. Welcome to the team.